So something I had forgotten that I actually had until very recently was I had ordered 8BitDo's replacement joystick for the N64. I have a controller here where the stick is starting to get a little loose, and 8BitDo a few months back released a Hall Effect GameCube style stick for the N64. So what I wanted to do today was to walk you guys through the process of replacing a joystick, so that way if you have an N64 stick that needs to be replaced, you can get something like this and do it for yourself. All right, so let's adjust the view and we'll get this done. All right, luckily this doesn't look like it's going to be too hard of a job to do. Much like any electronic work you're doing, you are going to need some kind of toolkit. Again, iFixit kits, the iFixit Mako, I believe is what this is. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to get one. I've sang its praises plenty of times, so if you don't have one of these or something like it yet, why not? And because we're dealing with electronics, even though it's going to be a much simpler job today, I always like to have a pair of tweezers just to make sure I can handle components if I need to. All right, so to get this guy open, we are going to have to take out 6 screws from the back. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws, sorry. And unlike other things Nintendo does when they like to be weird, these are not tri-wing screws, they're not game bit screws, these are just Phillips head screws. So let's find one that fits. That one fits well, and we'll get these guys out. Now, with that free, the back, the controller should just separate. So I was wrong, actually. I thought these two were on something else within the board or within the shell, but it's actually holding the shell in. As you can see in there, there's 2 more screws, one right here and one right here. You gotta get those out as well. Now with that, the shell should just come right off. And be careful with this because you don't want to lose the Z button. It is kind of just set in there, but you can set this to the side for now. All right, so there is our actual Z button. So that is just clipped into this right here, and that will separate very easily. Take note of the colors of the wire here. You have like 5 gray wires, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a 6th white wire. Now those colors are not the same on the 8BitDo one, but we do have the same number of wires. You have 5 yellow and then a green. So you just want to make sure to plug it in that way. I assume there's nothing about this plug that's going to be, two-sided. Like it should only go in one way, but on the chance it doesn't, just note that the single color wire is on the left, and that's the way you're going to want to put it back in. So really just got to get our fingernails underneath it and slowly work it out back and forth till it comes free, right like that. All right, and now we've got 3 more screws to take out. 1, 2, 3. You don't want to take out this black one, you want to just take out these 3 silver ones. And with that, the stick should just lift right out. And there it is. So I think this stick is still for the most part okay. It's just gotten a little bit loose. It just feels looser than the other sticks that I have. So I'm not gonna toss this. I'm going to keep it just in case another stick actually goes bad, but there it is. So now the new stick, you can just pop out of its styrofoam prison and do this in reverse. This stick should just drop right in. There we go. Whoops. This gives us a GameCube style stick for our N64. All right, let's get these screws back in, start putting this guy back together. There we go. Now, it does look like this cable can only go in one direction. Just looking at the port itself, it is very different on both sides, but that will just plug right into where the old one did. And this is where I like to have tweezers because crimping these back into place can sometimes be a little difficult to put enough pressure where it needs it. But just go back and forth, side to side, and ease it down in. Last thing we need to make sure to do is to set our Z button back in place. Just like the other one, it's got little clips that hold it in. You just want to make sure it's set well. Make sure that the membrane gets under those clips as well, because you don't want that thing coming loose. All right, I think we're good to put the back on now. And that should just fall. There's a little pinhole. There's a little pin right here that'll go into one of these holes here. It should fit into this one, and that'll help you line it up. Don't want that to not be where it needs to be whenever we get done. There we go. All right, let's get these screws back in. I am going to be careful with these first two, the ones that were around the memory card, just because you really want to make sure. Those are the tiny ones, and those are the furthest ones that you have to reach with the screwdriver. So just take your time. Take your time, make sure it sets well. And that goes for both of them. Snug them up, and you can add the rest of them. And once they're all in, snug them all up. And you will be good to go. And that will give you a GameCube style stick on your N64, which will make this a lot more comfortable to play. I do want to plug this guy up and see how it plays, because I wonder how the dead zones feel on it, but it is nice to have a better stick now, and one that's actually like feels like it's supposed to. All right, so I've got Mario 64 loaded up, and I do have the controller here, and at the very least it does work. I would hope that they had tuned the control stick to feel as close to the original as you could. It definitely does feel different than an N64 stick, which, I mean, it's going to, because just look at the thing. It's a very different stick design than the N64 controller's used to. But yeah, as you can see, replacing the joystick on a Nintendo 64 controller is really not that hard. If your sticks are getting a little loose, then that's something you should probably look into. Again, you have these GameCube style sticks, which are really nice. I bought this one from 8BitDo, and it is Hall Effect. If you still definitely want that N64 feel, you can get aftermarket ones of these. You can get original ones of these that are still in decent shape. And then there's, I don't remember the name of the company, but I'll find it and put a link down in the description below. There's a company that makes these housings out of, like, there's like the pivot point inside, he makes it out of steel. That way it won't wear down, which is what causes these sticks to get loose. There's a bunch of options for you if you want to replace these sticks, and now thanks to this video, you know how to do it. Luckily, it's not that hard. It took like 10 minutes to do the whole thing, including disassembling and reassembling the controller. So you'll be good to go to replace an analog stick if you so choose to. But that's gonna be it for me for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to go down and hit that like button. And if you like what I do here, then hit subscribe, because that helps me out a lot. But again, I wanna thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one, y'all.